Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano catch up. And in this one, we're going to start out looking at the overall markets. Obviously, it's been a really good time for crypto prices over the last few weeks. We'll take a quick look at that with Bitcoin, the overall market, ADA, and into native assets. But I will do a separate video diving a lot deeper into that type of stuff. Then some updates with events that are happening this year. I'll give my opinion on the push for centralized exchanges for Cardano native assets. USDM is coming at the end of this week. Few updates around that, as well as some different Cardano project updates. Get value, please do share it out. Give the video a like, comment questions or anything below. I do appreciate it. And subscribe if you're new. Let's jump into it. Okay, kicking off with a look at the overall market, and obviously it has been a really good time for crypto over the last while. If you look at Bitcoin, now at $72,000 the last few days, kind of setting new highs every day right now. Ethereum over $4,000, BNB really nice run, Solana. If we look at XRP, hadn't been doing a whole lot, and then yesterday it took off with a big run. ADA definitely is holding back a bit on price and lagging a bit behind, but we will take a look at that in a separate video and I'll give my thoughts in around that one. If you look at the charts, Bitcoin continuing to push higher and higher since the end of, so if we look back here, was the end of January. So once we hit into February, it has been an explosive month for Bitcoin with the ETFs inflows continuing to happen there with the halving approach. Then there's a big discrepancy between the amount that has been taken by the ETFs versus what is actually coming into supply. That's going to get halved in April. So potentially a fairly big supply shock in store there. I'll dive into that kind of stuff when we look at the video, or when I do the dedicated video. Just for the price of ADA, not a huge amount of action. Yes, it's nice to see us back up at 75, trying to push through the 80-cent mark. I'll talk a bit more about what I'd like to see when I do the dedicated video, but anyone who's watching here for a while knows that this is the chart that I basically watch for the ADA price. This is ADA against Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is still the big driver for the overall market. You do have exceptions. You look at meme coins the last few weeks, absolutely explosive, some of the moves that are there, but what you're hearing about is all the winners that people have had. You're not seeing being publicized about the amount of rug pulls and the amount of people losing out on that as well. So if you are getting involved, just be careful. Use portions of your portfolio. Like I talk about here, I have different allocations for different types of investments or anything like that. No financial advice here. It's all up to yourself, but I would say just be cautious. So with the ADA BTC chart, still pushing back down towards that 1000 sats level. So that's what I'm personally watching. I'll talk a bit more about that in the upcoming dedicated video, maybe today or tomorrow. If we look at Cardano native assets over the last, so this is the last 24 hours, starting to see a bit of green in some of them. SNEK, lots of talk around centralized exchanges, and they actually brought out a Telegram bot in collaboration with the Dex Hunter. Talk a bit about that later on. So things like that give individual tokens a bit of a move. World Mobile, lots of good news lately, had a decent run in the last few days too. This is all against ADA. If we look at the last 7 days, you can see starting to see a bit more green, but personally I don't think we're there just yet for native assets really to have a big run. If you look at it over on Tap Tools here, if you look at over the last 30 days, so you look at the three from Singularity Net, then they're all doing well. They're the top three. Then CNETA, SNEK, Ergo, IAG, WMT, and Butane. If we change it around then and look, there's a lot more red over the last 30 days than there is actual green. So normally what you would see, we've talked about the cycles before, you have Bitcoin and the larger caps all start to run. Funds start to flow down a bit. I would expect ADA to have a fairly decent run, and then the funds start to flow into native assets. Obviously, you have the exceptions when there's different news events and things happening with individual tokens. Centralized exchange listings, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Things like that really help individual tokens too. If we look at DeFi Llama, TVL sitting at just under $500 million. So the rise in the price of ADA has definitely helped us here in terms of the dollar value, with Indigo, MinSwap and Liquid still holding the top three spots. If we look at it in terms of ADA, you can see had been having a pullback at the start of the year, but has started to gain some traction. And as we get more protocols coming online, this I expect to see the TVL in terms of ADA starting to go up even further. And that's the one, once again, that's the one that I personally watch, is the ADA TVL here, to see what new funds are actually going in, because the USD version of this, it is the price of ADA has a big impact on what's happening there. So for growth, what I like to see is this one here going. The likes of butane coming out, I think, with synthetics. When you look at Indigo being number one currently, things like that will really help. USDM, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, coming out at the end of this week too. Things like that really do help. Just want to mention Indigo. So the Indigo V2, the proposal to deploy Indigo Protocol V2 to mainnet has been pushed has been pushed out on their forum now. You can come in and check that out. The biggest things that are going to come in this one are enhanced security measures, optimized performance for transactions, for building and the speed of them. The peg enhancement features is the biggest one for me personally, and trying to close the peg difference with IUSD to $1 and with IBTC being closer to Bitcoin. And they're looking at a few different mechanisms on that. Also, the treasury unlock, so they will be able to spend some of the DAO treasury for Indigo. One of the ones that I've seen coming for that is the formation of a protocol outreach group. So this is where there was members of the community were able to, I think they were able to volunteer themselves to be put up or to nominate themselves, and then it was voted on by the community. These are people who are creating really good content in around Indigo that help the community, help them with whether it's strategies or talking about how things work or keeping people updated, and they will be able to earn some Indie tokens every month if this is passed. And I would say this will be passed. So these individuals will earn, I don't have it open here, but I think it's 250 Indigo tokens per month to continually put out some content in around Indigo. It doesn't mean that they're there trying to just shill the project. If you look at the people here, some really good people there, especially over on Twitter, that put out a lot of useful information in around strategies and how different things work there. Looking at Cardano then, and something that was good to see during the week. So Chris has shared this one here. This is the police in Dubai. So I actually recorded an interview with Frederick Regard from the Cardano Foundation yesterday. That one will probably come out tomorrow. And we talked a bit about this, as well as a lot of different things that the foundation are working on. So make sure and hit the bell notification to get notified about that one coming out. But this one here was criminal investigations secured by the Cardano blockchain. So today, the Dubai police presented at the World Police Summit in Dubai an exciting blockchain-based pilot project. So this is how to showcase how sensitive data from criminal investigations can be shared securely with authorities such as Interpol. Now, it wouldn't be the full details of an investigation or what's happening, because obviously Cardano is a public blockchain. That's where we might see things with partner chains that can help there, that some data can be hidden and some can be verified on the main chain. So this is for bullet scans done by a highly sophisticated scanner shared among international stakeholders on the Cardano blockchain. Blockchain ensures that the data is not tampered with and can be tracked among various stakeholders. And when I talked with Frederick yesterday, we talked about how you can have supply chains and different things on the blockchain, a few updates around different projects that are using Cardano there. So to me, this is great to see non-crypto entities coming in and using the Cardano blockchain and trusting it. It's a sort of a seal of approval or a trust factor in this, that it is good to the outside to see that entities are using the Cardano blockchain, not just for stuff that happens just in crypto. For the outside world, this is a use case that can be looked at, and as I say, a bit of a seal of approval, of trust for Cardano. Just when we mentioned Dubai there, we got the announcement during the week that the Cardano Foundation, the summit, is going back to Dubai this year. So it's going to be the 23rd and 24th of October. There was, I suppose, expectation in the community that it was going to be somewhere different this year, that I heard Singapore or somewhere out in Asia were definitely front runners for that. Talked about this with Frederick as well. Why Dubai? And he said, like, a lot of the connections that they made there, they're going back to reinforce them, and there's lots of potential opportunities there for Cardano projects and for entities out there getting involved with the Cardano blockchain. So you can hear more on that when the interview drops. but I didn't get to make it out last year. Hopefully I will be able to make it out to Dubai and meet lots of community and projects and people within the Cardano ecosystem there. Then on events, we also have Rare Evo, which is an event happening in Vegas in August in Caesars Palace. Rare Evo and NFT LV were meant to be two separate events happening a few weeks apart. They've both happened the last 2 years now at this point, and they've decided to come together, and it's going to be one big event now. This was announced March 5th, there you can see. And so now Rare Evo has expanded and will include NFT LV too. So for people in the States, I think this is going to be a massive event, not just Cardano specific. It is a cross-chain event, originally started 2 years ago, Rare Bloom, as a Cardano event, expanded last year to a multi-chain, which I think was a really good step, because everybody needs to look cross-chain, see what's happening, and decide where they want to go and take bits from here and bits from there, because no one chain is going to do it all. So I think Rare Evo looks like it's going to be a really big event this year. Not fully decided yet if I'll be able to make that and make Dubai, but we'll see what happens over the next few months. Next up, centralized exchanges and centralized exchange listings for Cardano assets. So there's a lot of talk, if you're over on Twitter, a lot of talk about what's going to happen. We see SNEK posted this about, they had a call with Bybit this morning and they're looking to get onto Bybit. So they were asking, how big is the community? With also, you have the other one here is Igon, which I've talked about before. They said if they were required to get 3,000 users to sign up to a top tier 1 centralized exchange, would we support it? Now, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of something like this happening, but it's, I suppose, centralized exchanges need to see that the interest is there. And they do clarify further down in the post, actually, that the interest that will be shown across social media would be more the test than having to get exactly 3,000 signups or anything like that, because potentially people could already have accounts with them centralized exchanges. And they did say, I think that was the second tier 1 exchange they were looking at. They already have one that is confirmed. We haven't heard exactly which one that's going to be. Lots of guesses going around the community. If we look, people who wouldn't be sure what tier 1 exchanges will be. So if we look on CoinMarketCap here, these are the top spot exchanges, which is just normal trading without derivatives or anything like that. You have Binance number 1, Coinbase 2, Bybit 3, OKX, Upbit, and Kraken. They're the ones I would say are really the tier 1. Kraken is the one I personally use for fiat on and off ramp all the time. Bybit and Binance then for more active trading, Bybit then for the leverage side. You also then have Gate, KuCoin, HTX, Bitfinex, MEXC, which would be below tier 1 but still decent exchanges. We see World Mobile is already on HTX and KuCoin, I think. There are some assets on Gate. I'll have to check these up after. But the reason you will be looking at to get on these tier 1 exchanges is just the exposure that it gives you. So a lot of times, we talked about this in the different live streams I done last week. I think we covered this one when I talked about with Freed, Pete and Josh. A few different live streams last week. There was that one with the 3 guys, one with Big Pay, and then one with Rick McCracken talking all about Cardano governance. Links for them are below. But the reason you want to get onto these exchanges is because of the exposure, the user base they have, and to make it easy for people to actually come in and pick up Cardano native assets if they're interested in it. When they go onto these exchanges, that's when people start to look at them. So you don't want people to have to come into Cardano, new people, learn how it all works. It's different than EVM chains, where MetaMask is a wallet that can work across different chains. So people are used to it. They can use that. They're comfortable using it. But if they can get assets through the centralized exchange, if they own some of the asset, they're more likely to dive into it, learn more about the project, and then dive even deeper into the ecosystem. I did see some proposals for maybe getting native assets into MetaMask. That I think would be a really good step to make it easy to onboard people too. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But look, there's disadvantages to centralized exchanges. For those of us that own the assets on Cardano, we're not really going to go to the centralized exchanges to buy the assets because we want to keep custody ourselves. But the idea is this is for new people coming in. They want to get exposure. They can buy them there. Then they can pull them off onto their Cardano wallets. I have a few videos coming that'll show people how to do that if they are new. But to me, it's to get more and more people to look at and get deeper into the Cardano ecosystem. USDM is one way that Or it's something that we really need on Cardano, and that is native fiat-backed stablecoins. Even though people mightn't like fiat-backed, to me, they are a great option to have. Hopefully some point we will have USDC, maybe USDT on Cardano too. Again, with Frederick, we talked about this yesterday. But the more options we have, the better for users. But this is one that a lot of people have been waiting for, been excited about. Was originally meant to launch in December, was delayed due to they wanted to go over the smart contracts and make sure security was tight. So it's meant to go live 4 days from now. They say partnerships, they already have 24, including DEXs, lending and borrowing protocols, a few of them announced here. The big question, will it still launch for March 16th? Yes, the app will be up and running on March 16th. This will, I think, be a bit of a limited launch. If you look at it here, users in the approved 17 US states will be able to create their account, go through the KYC process, and then they will be able to mint the USDM stablecoin. Now it says here, minting will only be enabled for certain institutional users. Now, if you look across other chains with USDC, USDT, generally it is only institutional users that will mint there. The rest of us will use it to buy at exchanges or use in lending and borrowing, but decentralized exchanges, DEXs, is where most of us would generally buy our stable coins, or even on centralized exchanges. I think there is talk of USDM being on centralized exchanges. I suppose they need to see what the volume is first before it can actually go there. So they say here, how long will the delay be? Because they do want to allow retail to be able to, and retail is normal everyday users, to be able to mint USDM. They say it's already taken longer than anticipated, but they assume it'll be a matter of days or just weeks. Now there is another part here. So they say here they have already completed KYC with a few institutional users. So this means that on March 16th, we should see some liquidity in USDM. That's something I'm very interested to see, is how much liquidity we can get in, because we need a decent amount of liquidity. We also need the likes of DEXs, lending and borrowing, to give good rewards to people, to encourage them to actually mint USDM and put it into the protocols so they can actually earn something extra. Give people incentive to mint USDM, because that's going to help trading on Cardano overall. And the final one was just on the delays. So it was said in December that the delay was to upgrade the smart contract, and people are asking about here, what was the reason for the delay? So they originally had a deal where they were in the final onboarding with a Puerto Rico-based transaction bank to serve US users, but they say the banking fees were exorbitant, and even if you had no active users, the fees were still there. So since the delay, they were able to open up accounts with Fidelity and Western Asset Management Company. They've also, where's this? We also found new and better bank partners capable of serving US users and non-US users. So that's good news that came with the delay, and they're going to be available going forward for USDM. So looking forward to that one coming before the end of this week. So once it's out, we'll take a look at what things are looking like then. So something else I seen was with SNEK. So SNEK, it's a meme coin, but when you look across other chains, it is a bit different than other meme coins and what they are trying to do and trying to actually provide value. So in coordination with the Dex Hunter, they have brought out, it's not live yet, but it is coming, didn't see a date, it just says coming soon, a Telegram trading bot. So this is where you will be able to actually trade on Cardano DEXs through Telegram. So if you look across other chains, again, there's a lot of different bots out there, Telegram bots on other chains that have become very popular ways to trade. So now Cardano is going to get one with SNEKbot. Once that comes out, I will bring some of the updates on that. Just on trading on Cardano with Splash Protocol, they have put out the pre-sale details. Well, they put out the details of what the amount that's going to be and the price of them. So there's going to be 30 million tokens for pre-sale. I think that is 30%. If we look at the tokenomics, so the sale is 30%. So 30 million tokens at 0.25 ADA per token. They're looking to raise 7.5 million ADA. No details on when that's going to be. Once we get the details, I will let you guys know. They've also been doing something interesting with the different protocols out there, and Igon were one of the ones that signed up with that. So Igon have secured 2.5% portion in Splash Protocol's DAO. So that means that they will be getting Splash tokens. They do have to be locked, and I think Igon have to put up some of the tokens into the Igon pool on Spectrum, or on Splash. Spectrum is the old name for Splash. I still need to look at the details of what's going to happen with Spectrum tokens and how many of them, or is there going to be airdrops. I think there is going to be something there for Spectrum users, but I'll follow up on that in another video. Some of the other partners, do I have it here? If we scroll through their Twitter, I did have it open and must have closed it. The initial partners are Ergo, SNEK, DexHunter, Igon, Butane, and there's going to be, it looks like, 3 more partners announced that will be a part of the initial Splash DAO, and for that they get some of the tokens and they provide some of the liquidity. We'll look at the details on that one again. Final one then is NMKR. Seen this, thought it was interesting. They are starting their buyback program. So 5% of the revenue generated from NMKR Studio is going to be used to buy back NMKR tokens and burn the tokens to completely remove them from supply. It's going to be limited for 6 months as a testing phase. Will be interesting to see how much the supply gets reduced, because as we go deeper into the bull market, I would say NMKR should be getting busier, should be producing more revenue, and it's good to see some of that going back into to benefit token holders in a roundabout way. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got some value, and questions or anything below, leave them. I'll try and include them in future videos. Subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the green. Talk soon.